dummy for missing last week.
The following program is brought to you by the Realm of Collectors. Please stand by and take your seats.
Good evening, and welcome to Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater. If you would please kindly take your seats, the show will begin momentarily.
I unmuted myself. I remembered. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another Friday and another episode of Masterpiece Shitpiece Theater. How are you beautiful fucking people doing tonight? Any of you, fucking speak.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Much better.
I'm fucking amazing, okay?
Good.
I am just chipper.
We even got somebody in the chat already. What's up, Toy Mafia?
I'm actually fucking fabulous.
I am glad.
You know what? You sexy beast, you are a fucking fabulous one. I'll tell you
Dude,
what.
I am
And me,
excited to be here, man.
I'm okay. I'm just mediocre.
Maya's gonna be the fabulous one's new manager.
Nah. I can barely manage my own ass, let alone two other people.
Touche. Nice. Yo, Toy Mafia, that's a cool fucking name, man.
Yeah, I know, right?
I like that.
He sells toys on the black market.
In like I have this own like headcanon backstory in my head for you, Toy Mafia. You only talk in fucking emojis, so like I figured that you were like a mafia hitman and got like your fingers on one hand cut off, and so it's just easier for you to type in fucking emojis.
This has thumbs.
Like fucking Silent Bob in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
God damn.
Nick's gonna
Sit there and taps on the fucking phone 93 times in 8 seconds, and it just shows up one emoji.
That'll be episode 300.
That's great, dude. Shit.
All right, let's go ahead and get through fucking intros here, and then we got some stuff for you guys. So Maya, why don't you tell them where you're at on the internet, please?
Well, I'm on Facebook under my name. It's Maya Dawn Fisher. For some reason, I got this deep voice. It's fucked up. I can't get rid of it. But I'm part of the Realm of Collectors. Been around for a while. Just kind of rebranded. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. They are linked to my Facebook page. Yeah. Permanent reassignment. What can I say? Part of the Figure Banging podcast on this channel that airs every other Wednesday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Every Friday night here with you guys when I'm not an emotional wreck. And also on the All Queued Up podcast. New episodes published every Friday. And that's all the places you can find me. What about you guys?
Beautiful Russell.
What's up, people?
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. You have a new name, don't you? Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Ross.
I couldn't believe that shit. She called me Ross, dude. I was like, here's what's funny, right? When I was a kid, I had an aunt.
Who called you Ross?
I had a fucking girl-to-girl show last night. I don't even know who said it. Was it who said it? Was it all?
It was Gort's wife by mistake.
She must have been watching Friends.
Yeah. And of course, somebody throws in Ross the Moist, and I'm like, it was probably Lowry.
No, it was
Nick. It was either Lowry. No, it was Nick. It was Nick. That's right, because I was like, you nasty bitch. That's right.
I'm just typing in the chat so I don't forget it later. That's hilarious.
I had an aunt when I was a little kid who insisted.
Where did she touch you?
Me.
Oh, never mind.
That would have been real scoring.
Was she one of
No,
those?
she would call
Was she one of those aunts with half a beard that would nuzzle you with it when she kissed you?
Not a beard. She did showed up. She did have a mustache. She did have hair growing her nose. It was crazy.
Real quick before we continue, I will say that Ross, there's nothing you could tell me about your past at this point that would surprise me. So, I say these things in jest, but I'm like, it might have happened.
She would call me Ross though. That's my name is Russell, and I'd say I went by Russell, and she'd say no. Oh, come here, Ross.
No, it's Russell. Ross?
Where do you get Ross from?
Russell the twat waffle.
I can't laugh without coughing, man.
Only if I'm lucky.
Don't worry, I'm having my own super spreader event this weekend.
I apologize. Oops, I got out of line there.
Russell.
Ross.
Anyway, you can find me on Rumble Collectors Facebook page here every Friday night, and I don't really do anything else. I'm kind of very boring lately. I work too much, so I don't know. I don't even do any rants anymore. I just lost my passion for it. Let's just be honest. Takara.
This is the most pathetic rant I've ever heard.
It's my fault you guys haven't had a rant from Russ. I'm holding on to one.
Oh yeah.
Takara, but let's be honest. Takara sucks anyway. So who am I really? It's like telling everybody knows it. So I mean, who can you rant on anymore?
Yeah, it's hard to rant on when there's not really much going on.
Right? It's hard to argue. Fuck you,
yeah.
That was my fault.
No, that was you. Okay. All right. How about you, Sam?
I was pulling it up on the phone to throw a thumbs up.
No way. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Likes and shares, thoughts and prayers.
Yeah. I'm Sam, Insta_Sam89 on Instagram. Sam Mead in the groups. When I'm not on my deathbed, I'm here. Good to be back with you guys, man. And dude, I still don't feel right, man. Like this is like going on like 15 days. Like this is crazy.
At least doesn't live.
Yeah. Where you at, Nick?
I'm your host, Nick Brammer. You can find me on Facebook at Nick Brammer. You can find me on Instagram as masterpiece_shitpiece and Twitter at Brammer_Nick. You fucker. I can't believe you did that in the middle of my beautiful professional fucking intro.
Yeah, I know you're always so professional. I just
butchered
the fucking thing in.
I think that we're gonna have to vote Ross off the island soon.
We don't even know Ross.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Boot Ross off the fucking island. Russ is awesome. We'll keep Russ.
I don't know. They're both kind of. They're both pretty sus.
Russ is sus. This might be time to just trim the fat.
That's something that we should try.
Is that a fat joke, Sam? What are you saying?
we should try that for a fucking like Sunday show or something. Do like a fucking game of Among Us.
Oh, dude, we play. So I have in my classroom, like we have like this downtime while the kids are like waiting for the bus, and like we all get out on our phones and play it together, man. Like with this one group, like it's fun, dude. We have fun with it.
I don't think I've ever played Among Us.
I haven't played it yet either, but it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It depends on who you got in it.
Yeah,
I think.
I haven't played it, but it's very similar to a Jackbox game that we play called Push the Button, which is, kind of like well, there's a few variations of it. I don't want to get into it right now, but I would like to play it sometime.
All right.
Yeah, I think it's I think it is all about just like who you're playing with, Because like when you got people,
most communal games are like that.
Yeah, especially when you can all talk about it.
Man, we had a fucking blast with cards last week. Oh,
it was.
I know, dude. I saw you post that in the chat, and I was like, God damn it! I'm like rolling around.
Yeah, it was good.
Sam was mainlining Pedialyte trying to get on the show. Fucking cards, man.
I was close.
Man, you're jacking your kids' Pedialyte? What the hell, man?
Yeah. Dude,
just because you're the same size as them. Doesn't mean
Dude, so here's the thing. I went back to work Monday, you know, and I told it, and I always like mess with my students, right? And I just do it like in a very dry way, and I told them, you know, I was sick, you know, I went to the vet because it's cheaper than going to a regular doctor, and they checked me out and everything was cool. And like they just like looked at me and were just like, okay, and I just didn't say anything. I didn't like address it. I guess as far as
they just nodded like they just took that.
I think that they didn't want to like. Yeah,
they were
it's like
afraid to ask for the truth.
There wasn't one of them that was going to be like, I'm gonna pause, you know. So I just said it. And
this is the future of America, ladies and gentlemen. Sam
and
students are perfect examples.
And just one thing real quick. When you guys see the screen go blank now, it's usually not a technical problem. It's Nick fucking with his windows trying to figure out where everything's supposed to fucking be.
We promise.
Oh, God. Yo, Sam, what Superman is that you got? Yeah,
that's the Infected, bro.
Yeah, this McFarlane one, and this is it's the best Superman I've ever had. In this
what
scale.
The fuck? Look at him. He's cool looking.
Yeah, I mean, I like the head. Like, I guess he got like the Joker eyes or whatever. But like the body, this is like the best Superman ever made.
I'm gonna look at that.
The body. I'm very happy.
That might be my first. That might be my first McFarlane DC figure there.
Yeah, dude.
It's get the Azrael.
The Azrael?
Yeah, that one. He's
fantastic. Shit. Is that the one that's the angel guy? The angel dude, right? Yeah, he looks fucking badass too, dude. God damn, he looks cool. Oh, because he's all cloaked and shit.
Yeah, but there's two of them. There's like the red one, like kind of like traditional one, and then there's like him in like the bat armor, which was like the first one I got, and I was like, this thing's incredible. Man, they're doing a lot for $20 a figure. You know, pretty much everything's in original mold.
I was talking about the red one, dude. I really like the red one.
Nick, the red one, I got that just I was like, I basically got it for like the flame effect on the sword. Like it came with like this fire that you slide over sword.
That's the look that I'm used to. With.
Yeah, so I was like,
red and hooded.
And I was gonna give it to my kids, and then I opened it up, and I was like, no, I'm keeping it. It's awesome, dude.
He's like, it's awesome.
It's really.
You can't have this. This is mine. You see Sonny coming up saying, "Dad, is that for me?" No.
Yeah, I just keep telling him, I'm like, it's coming from Amazon. I got one like pre-ordered, so like it'll show up any day now, and I'll let them get it. But man, they're doing some cool stuff, and then they're doing some stuff that's not very good.
That Superman is demented as shit, though. I like that.
Yeah, like
that's really cool, man. Oh,
I hope that they use this buck for like every Superman, movie.
I want to Shazam on that buck.
Dude.
Oh, there you go. That's the one you should definitely use.
Or a Black Adam, yeah. This is my favorite Bizarro. You seen this dude?
Oh, look, that's a Frankenstein-looking motherfucker, dude. That's great.
The Alex Ross one, right?
It's the Alex Ross one, yeah.
Look at his. I love it. That's perfect. He's got the S backwards and everything. Holy shit!
That's
and it's like a snake. That is so cool.
That's what I do like that McFarlane did. Like what they did with the Batman White Knight wave, and it was only like, I think it ends up being like 4 figures total, but like it looks like how what's the dude's name that did White Knight? Sean Murphy. It looks like it looks like Sean Murphy's art, which I think is like it's cool, and then like there's a drawback that like some stuff like doesn't look right with the rest of your figures, but like I just think it's cool that they're doing that, and they're doing it with current stories, which is what DC Direct and DC Collectibles kind of always did. So it's cool that McFarlane's like keeping that going, because I think is DC Collectibles done?
No, they're still they're still pumping shit out, dude. The DC Collectibles Essentials line is still going.
Okay, yeah,
and the designer line. There was something just recently released in that. But I was just grabbing figures because we were talking about DC shit. This is my Brainiac. This is from the Alex Ross shit too. Look at that.
Yeah. And dude, that's the thing, like if you're ever looking for like heads to use for customs, like just go on eBay and just look up like whatever DC Direct version of a character. Like if you want a Wonder Woman head, just look up like DC Direct Wonder Woman, because their head sculpts are always really good. Like their paint was always really good, and like you can find them loose for really cheap, like under like $15. So, and then that's what I got the Last Sun Superman. Like I found one for like $15 shipped, and it's beat, but like the head's good. So I'm just gonna put that on this body, and I got a really nice Superman.
I wonder if he's gonna do a Red Sun version of.
Yeah, it's coming out. It's been announced. But they use
because that was one of my favorite looks.
Superman, they use like the first Superman book that they did, which sucks because this one's
better. Oh, dude, that first Superman book is actually pretty freaking good.
It's good. It's good, but like to me, like this one's better. So I feel like this should be the buck moving forward.
Oh, the over exaggerated.
The first one's good.
The first one's
good though.
The first one's good, man. Especially that fucking toe tap. I mean, you can get him into some damn good positions.
With Superman, that's cool because you get him into those takeoff positions and shit. Landing,
Yeah, we were talking about that with EE one night on broadcast, and I brought him out. He can do the hunched over back kneeling with his hand on the ground.
That's fucking cool. That's a cool pose. Yeah. No, I told you I don't hate on McFarlane. I'm not hating on McFarlane no more, man, because I got a chance to check a couple of them out, and I was like,
wow.
I was pretty astonished.
And I was kind of like, I'll see what I can get.
It's so hard when you've had a company that you bought shit from in the past and they just burned your ass so bad. You're like, I basically bought a fucking plastic statue, you dicks.
Yeah, and that was me too. I got their Spawn, that Mortal Kombat Spawn, like before all this DC shit came out, and I remember people were like, oh, like this DC, like it's gonna suck, this and that, and I was like, well, this Spawn's really good.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wasn't all in it like I am now, but I wasn't like dogging it either because I was like, let's wait and see. And
I think I faith in them.
Dude, that's the thing because I feel like that is toy companies have a hard time coming back from that, man.
I think they do too. But I'll tell you what, if you get to check out, I mean, I got to look at the Nightwing, and I was like, this fucking thing's incredible. I love it.
So like you have that, and like I like changed my mind after handling them and seeing how they like improved wave after wave, but you still have so many people who have never handled what, and it applies to McFarlane right now.
Yeah,
it applies to Mayfex shit, but they just feel the need to like constantly bash it. And anytime someone says they enjoy it, they gotta go in and tell them why it sucks. And even though they haven't.
A lot of people might have been like I was. It's just you were burned by McFarlane so bad in the past that you can't like, it's hard to bring yourself up to admitting that they're actually doing something good. And like I said, I was wrong. And I told Nick, I said, Nick, I stand corrected. I was amazed. And Nick had told me, Nick said, try one and check them out. And I got to look at that too.
But then like there are, you know how it is, man. You see like there's people, they just can't let anybody enjoy anything. No, you know what I mean? It's like they have to like,
come on, man.
Like
I mean,
thing I don't like, I gotta go in and tell you.
I mean, dude, all the dogging I did on Takara, and then when I got a hold of that Sunstreaker, I had to actually admit they made a good fucking figure. I'm not I'll come out and say it. Hey, McFarlane's doing well. I mean,
even with them, I joined this McFarlane group. Which is like, I don't know why I'm still joining toy groups. Like they're just the worst. Maybe it's because we're like a week away from an election, and people are just at each other's throats. But like, I went in this McFarlane group, and this guy, like, he brought up something which I talked to Nick about. Like they made these Crow Robins, and in my opinion, they're too big.
They're huge.
The head. Like he's supposed to be like a teenage kid. His head shouldn't be bigger than Superman's head, right? So they got some scale issues to work out, and I mentioned that. I said, yeah, I agree with this, and then I had people in the comments like, no, you're wrong, this, that, and the third, and like you're crazy if you think that. I'm like, I don't know.
It's like,
I mean, they weren't calling me. Yeah, they weren't calling me names like they do in like the NECA and Star Wars Black Series groups, but
No, I was in a Black Series group, and I made the mistake of, criticizing the fact that Hasbro seems to me and repainting the fuck out of Stormtrooper pucks and shit like that. And they were like, "We need Stormtroopers." I mean, I got attacked.
Oh, dude,
Like,
people are
sorry.
defending those holiday troopers.
Oh, they are.
Dude,
Yes, they
yeah,
are.
oh
Yeah.
my god, man! And you can see how you can like look at people defending those holiday troopers, and then you'd be like, "Oh, this is how these people get put into power." Like, it's just crazy. Like, it's like the fucking Kool-Aid that people are willing to drink, you know.
All right.
So
Yeah.
I unfollowed one because this guy, and this is just real quick, but it's this guy like bought like a couple of waves of these Walmart exclusive ones, and everyone's calling him a fucking monster, and like this is the reason why everything's wrong with the world. People like you, and I was like, dude fucking went out there and hit up 10 Walmarts, and
Hey,
don't
look,
hate
he
the
did the
player,
legwork.
game.
If he did the legwork, I don't have a problem with it, dude. I think it's great. Why would
Yeah.
you want? It's
Yeah, and they were
motherfuckers that
like-
want to use fucking bots and shit. to
Dare you
fucking
not
stick
leave
shit
any for
online.
the rest of us, or tell
Yeah.
us what store it was at, so I could go get it too.
Yeah, fuck.
Like it's
fuck
his
you. I'm supposed to do
responsibility.
your work for you, right? Motherfucker, shit. Anyway,
It turned out they
Wait,
made
I'll
call me
I'll-
names. It was ridiculous.
I'll stop bitching in a minute. I gotta let my mommy wipe my ass.
Dude, that's what it is,
True
man.
say.
Super wrong, dude. They were
Dude.
messed up.
I got fucking timed out from a
COVID.
group
Oh,
tonight.
You got timed out tonight, really?
Yeah, from the NECA fan group. And let me just say, NECA fan group, when you get timed out or banned from a group for a couple days, you can't leave the group, because that's what I immediately would have fucking done.
yeah, be like
Because all I did was I posted the same thing I posted in the Realm on my personal page tonight, just the information for tonight. But I even added at the top, we probably have some Halloween fans in here. And then the info. And group rules that were violated, NECA collectibles and related topics only. And I'm like,
no, that's
and I
not
was
it.
talking to fucking Sam, and I'm like, well, Halloween's one of the only fucking licenses they have left, you fucktards. I mean, that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight. I hope everybody knows is Halloween.
Yeah.
And it's just like these fucking toy groups are fucking crazy. Like, what is wrong with you?
So, and I'll say there, and I don't know if you consider the Realm a toy group, which I don't think I do, but they run a tight ship. And then there's this dude Ruben. He's got the GI Joe Classified Elite.
Marauder.
Yeah, that dude.
That dude
that
seems
group-
pretty good.
That dude is hilarious. Like, he just posts.
Oh,
the
yeah,
most
I've seen some of the
out-of-pocket
shit,
stuff.
yeah.
Like, yeah, he's funny. But he runs that group, and that group is it's the only group that I like really actively participate in, because they just don't put up with anything, right?
Yeah.
Like, people post like they got 24 Cobra Troopers in a weekend, and if you're like bashing them about it, they just boot you, and I love it, man.
Nice.
I love it. That group's fun. Like, everybody's it's like when you've curated a group so much, like you end up with a kind of good, kind of solid core of people,
You know what's funny? If I saw somebody post up that they were able to find 20 fucking Cobra Troopers in the weekend, I would bash him. I'd be like, "You're a fucking amazing person, dude."
I'd be like,
Yeah, exactly.
that dude deserves a fucking medal.
Hell
For
yeah, he
real.
does.
Because he probably fucking went to like 20 stores to get them.
Yup,
Exactly.
and maybe
And
more.
that's what people, I
You
think.
know he gave out at least 3 handies.
Dude, I'll do it, man. Give me some Cobra Troopers,
Dude,
man. I'll do it. I'm
loving
good
the-
at it.
Loving the time of COVID. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'll say,
Sounds like-
you
sounds like I'm
you
in.
want it quick, or you want me to take my time, man? I can do both.
Fucking incredible,
Oh.
dude.
You
So,
gotta get
what
mine.
you're saying
I
is-
gotta get mine. You gotta get yours.
What you're saying is, Sam, you'll go lefty or righty for them.
Yeah, because I've had to do both, dude. I broke my right collarbone, man. I was out of commission
want
for 6 weeks.
And no, those Cobra Troopers, everybody wants about like 10 of them at least. I don't know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, Russ. Because
Here-
I got a couple of those red ninjas that I pre-ordered, and
Yeah.
a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, where'd you get those?" And I was like, "Oh, Big Bad Toy Store." And he's like, "Man," he's like, "I want some, but like they're just going for too much right now." I'm like, "Dude," and I sent him like 12 links. I'm like, "Fucking Big Bad Toy Store, Entertainment Earth,
That's where I got mine from. Though I just got one dough, and I got it from
GameStop,
BBTS.
you know, and I sent them all these links where you could just pre-order them for $19.95 each. I was like, "What are you talking about? They're too expensive, you dummy! Pre-order them!" Like they're so.
I'm like, I understand how this GI Joe is going to work. You're just going to have to look around and get it from different places. You're not going to be able to go shopping at one spot.
But
You're not going to be able to do it.
But even that, like, you can go on BBTS right now and get 10 of them.
Yeah.
Oh, sure you could.
Same,
Absolutely. I'm sure you could.
And the same thing with the Cobra Troopers, like the newer ones. And that's what I did. I went on and got 10 because there's going to be some dumbass who just slept on the pre-order. In a year from now, they're gonna be like, "Oh, anybody got one? I can't find them anywhere. Oh, they're too expensive." I'm gonna be like $50 shipped.
Yeah, I was gonna say Sam's gonna be like, "Yo, I got something."
You need a Kickstarter spawn too while you're at it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give somebody that I use a shout out. Star Wars Geek Fan Customs on eBay has Cobra Trooper heads unpainted for $6 a piece.
Nice, man.
Wow. Okay. Nice.
He also
Cobra Trooper head on a body somewhere.
If you want to, and like, I understand why it is what it is. He did a Major Bloodhead, but it's a Nick Fury like cinematic face with a fucking like that cap I have on my Cobra Commander. So.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's an interesting look for Major Blood.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, with as new as that line is, there's like a ton of custom stuff that you can do with it already. Man. Like, if you just know kind of where to look and.
I haven't touched my shit in a couple months, man. I haven't done anything.
Dude, me neither. Me neither. Like, I'll sit
I don't think it's a good idea to handle shit anyway. It's very insane.
He's just been putting in the toilet like a regular person. Very un-Florida of you.
Very un-Florida or totally Florida?
I know. It is a whole other country and all. You know?
Oh shit, we got fucking Wolfenstein popped in. What's up, bro?
Hey Wolf, what's up, man?
Oh man.
Mr. Jeremy Bennett's in the house.
Bennett.
You guys want to start getting into this Halloween?
Let's do this thing, man.
All right, guys. I think earlier this year, there was a Friday the 13th this year, and I did a retrospective on the Jason movies. Well, tonight's the night before Halloween, so fuck it. Let's do Michael Myers, my favorite.
None too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. Michael Myers, to me, has it over Jason just because to me, he's more sinister. He seems to have more of an intelligence to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jason is fun to watch. I love the Friday the 13th movies, but if you gotta ask me which one's mine, it's gotta be Mikey.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's interesting because like with Jason, there's like this. It's just he's a tank. The unstoppable
he's
tank.
like a caveman or something,
right? And Michael Myers is too, but I feel like Michael Myers is a lot more thinks a little bit ahead. You know, I don't know.
Let's be honest. Jason is a mongoloid. Jason has hydroencephaly.
Right. He was.
He's a diagnosed mongoloid.
He was a funky looking kid, dude. He was rough. So, I mean, I'm not that I'm saying the funky little kids are cute too, but he was just cute in a real funky way.
God damn it, Ross! What are you doing?
Ross, you're
funny.
terrible.
So funny, man.
All right, guys. So, original Halloween came out in 1978. Originally, what the idea was called, the script was going to be the Babysitter Murders. It was going to have the events take place over several days. They changed everything. There was a suggestion made to John Carpenter, something about Halloween, because there was no movies that had Halloween in the title really up until that point.
He's like, fuck it, let's just make it Halloween.
Let's make Halloween.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Film had a budget of $300,000.
Wow.
Back in '78. 25,000 extra dollars were added to the budget to pay for the salary of Donald Pleasance.
Who did he play? Was he Loomis?
Yeah,
He was Loomis.
Yeah, he's Dr.
Okay.
Loomis. The reason why was because he had a career before this. Like, he was in he was in fucking James Bond movies. He was really popular over in England. The role of Dr. Loomis was actually offered first to Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee.
Oh, wow.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Peter Cushing at that point wanted more money than what they thought he was worth, because Peter Cushing was just coming off of Star Wars. But people thought that, he was past his prime in his career and they weren't going to pay him the money that he wanted. Christopher Lee straight out rejected the role, and then later in 2005 when he was interviewed, Christopher Lee said that was the biggest mistake he made in his career, was passing up playing Dr. Loomis in Halloween.
Wow.
Well, you would definitely be remembered for another thing.
Yeah, but like if you
it's like his career was hurting,
Right.
Yeah, but he did have a down period during that time because the last Hammer Dracula was in 1972.
Mm-hmm.
He did play Scaramanga in the Man with the Golden Gun with Roger Moore.
Yeah, he did. And then he did one of the Howling movies.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
He did a whole bunch of low budget shit movies like Bang 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 Bang. Not only that, he was in the original Wicker Man.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny, man, because I don't have any idea of him. Like, I know the Dracula stuff, but then it's I can't even think of him in anything until it was like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars, which kind of happened at the same time.
Yeah.
It's like 2001, 2, and 3.
Yeah, He like Nick said, he did some small things here and there too.
In a different type of role for him, it was still produced by Hammer, but and it's a semi-horror movie. Is the Hammer's version of Hound of the Baskervilles with Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. My kids there's this Christopher Lee reads the audiobook of that. My kids love it, man. They're
that's badass.
Yeah. So
he definitely had the voice.
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
There are other actors that were rumored. It was rumored they tried to get Olivier. Oh, sorry, not Olivier. Sorry, Orson Welles.
Oh, that would have been cool too. That would be interesting.
Because
just waddling around the set.
Yeah. If you think about this would have just been 8 years before Transformers the movie.
That's right. That's
and
right.
he was on his deathbed.
Yeah.
Recording that, right?
Yeah.
Megatron.
It's so funny.
But
I'm sorry, it's terrible to speak ill of the dead like that. It's terrible. Oh, jeez.
John Carpenter.
He listens to this podcast.
I know, right?
After Mustafa Akkad got involved as a producer in Halloween, John Carpenter also got involved and brought his real-life girlfriend Deborah Hill into the mix, and they both wrote the movie's screenplay, and John Carpenter also wrote the score. And
that's iconic now,
Yeah. It's like classic sketchy music now,
Yeah.
Damn.
John Carpenter also has an album coming out, or is out this month, with music that he's done that's been inspired by the other soundtrack stuff he's done. He scores most of his movies. So these are original compositions based off of stuff he's done for Assault on Precinct 13, Halloween, and shit like that.
Fucking cool, dude. He's so talented, man.
Yeah. But sorry, the point I was trying to get to with the budget was it was $300,000 for the budget, and then $25,000 extra for Donald Pleasance. The movie ended up grossing $47 million.
Damn! $325,000.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal smash success.
It was for a very long time. It was the most successful independent movie ever made.
In the 70s,
until Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
in the 70s, for a movie to gross that kind of money in the 70s was insane. That's a huge hit in the 70s.
And I wonder if
and
it's like, I don't know, but it's just like a thought. Like, I wonder if that happens more with like horror movies than with like any other genre.
It does.
Where it's a low budget.
That's why,
budget, like huge.
Yeah, that's why there was the huge horror boom of the 80s.
Yeah, because
90s.
everyone was hoping to strike it rich with it. Yeah, if you happen to do a horror movie that just catches on, and you got away and you did it for a low budget, and it's a big hit.
Yeah,
it's awesome. You're fucking
like,
amazing.
That still happens today, man.
Yeah, and the thing is if you make the studio money off that low budget, they're going to be more apt to give you projects you want to do.
Yeah, that too, and also if they get you to do another one, they might give you a higher budget, thinking they might make more money.
yeah.
They tend to like to invest more if they think
in a proven product.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So it's the whole game of that's the game, I guess, in Hollywood. But it still is.
So
it still is today,
So that would, in 2008 money, it would have been the equivalent of them taking home $150 million.
Yes. Yeah. For a horror movie, that's fucking nuts. Horror movies just aren't known for grossing that kind of money. But I mean, like I said, that's 40. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of. I mean, 42. Think about 42 million is amazing today. That's not bad. But if you did a $300,000 budget,
and especially with just like the overhead of like how much they put into it, and it's like those early franchise movies, like Paranormal Activities, like a more recent example of like you have these, like, you don't have these big names attached to it.
It's just cheap as fuck to make.
Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't see Vinny popped in. Hey, what's up, brother?
What up, Vinny?
What's up, Vinny?
Yeah.
So while you're on casting, and you haven't gotten to her yet, but I wanted to ask a question about Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, I heard that, I don't know if it's true, but the rumor I heard is that one of the reasons she got the role was because she was one hell of a screamer. That she had some vocals on her.
Well, what it is actually is that she's Janet Leigh's daughter.
Janet
Lee was the woman in Psycho who was killed in the shower.
Yep. Yep.
John Carpenter is an Alfred Hitchcock freak. Like, all of his movies have like throwbacks to Alfred Hitchcock. And he puts in things that he's a fan of. So like there was that, and there was another casting choice I'll get to later that like he did and there's so many ties between like Psycho and Halloween and stuff.
So he's looking for the Hitchcock connection.
Yeah,
that's kind of wild. All right, well that explains it, because I was like, Scream, god damn. Well, that's pretty good to get a role because you can scream.
Yeah, I mean, there's been better screamers than Jamie Lee Curtis, but I mean,
I'm
she
sure
does also have that quality too.
Indeed.
The movie was actually shot in early spring in Southern California. The crew had to buy paper leaves.
For snow?
Paper leaves.
Well, yeah, because it's fall.
Halloween, and they had to fucking paint them.
Oh my god, dude! That's where all that budget money went, man.
Yeah. Another really cool piece of trivia is one of the people that was because they would have to pick up the leaves, and put them in another yard when they were fucking filming in another yard.
Right, right.
So one of the people throwing leaves around was an out-of-work actor named Robert Englund.
Oh
no shit!
And so somebody on set was like, "I like the way that dude throws leaves around."
Yeah. Are you kidding? That's information. That's amazing, Nick. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Robert Englund has said in interviews that I've heard him that he has done some of the lowbrow shittiest jobs in Hollywood. Maybe that's what he was like. Yeah. That's great, dude. Oh my god, that's wonderful.
So the story is based on an experience John Carpenter had in college while touring a psychiatric hospital. Carpenter met a child who just like stared through him, and he said, with a look of evil, and it terrified me.
What year was that? Like the
I
60s or
think,
something?
yeah, I think it was at the 60s. Poor kid.
Russ, when were you born, man?
Shit.
Only a few years before the Halloween movie, okay?
Disregard. Never mind.
Yeah. John Carpenter. This is interesting to me because a lot of people try to talk about like how horror movies are like morality plays and shit. John Carpenter and Deborah Hill have stated many times over the years that they did not consciously set out to depict virginity as a way of defeating a killer. The reason why the horny teens all die is simply that they are so preoccupied with getting laid that they don't notice that there's a killer at large. On the other hand, Laurie
been there,
Strode
done
spends a
that.
lot of time on her own and is therefore more alert.
There you go.
There's sound logic if you think
Yeah.
about it. It kind of is.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, when you hear John Carpenter talk about Halloween, there's no mysticism to it at all. Like, he hates what they did in 4, 5, and 6. He even regrets making 2.
But 2 was good. I like 2.
I did too.
That's one of the, that wasn't bad.
So this movie had a budget, as I told you, of $300,000. It was also shot in 20 days.
Holy shit, that's really fast. God damn.
Yep.
Wow.
So, Deborah Hill wrote the dialogue for the female characters, obviously, while John Carpenter concentrated on Dr. Loomis's like monologues and speeches. Something else a lot of people don't know is that for the first airing on television when Halloween was on NBC, they actually had to film more scenes to pad it out because of the editing of it and the commercial breaks, so that it would fit a 2-hour block. So a lot of people don't realize that there are actually 2 different versions of Halloween.
Oh, really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So did they like kind of just? No, I didn't know that either. So did they actually add footage? Is that what they did? Extra footage and elongate certain things to? Okay.
Well, they got Donald Pleasance. They got back for Halloween 2. So during Halloween 2, they went back and filmed the stuff for the TV version of the first Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome, actually.
Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Oh yeah. There's a 2010 documentary. It was revealed that actually 5 different people played Michael in the first Halloween movie. Nick Castle is the most famous. He's usually he's the one that was in the suit for most of the scenes. He was the one that came up with Michael's like tilt.
The tilt, the crazy tilt, yeah.
Yeah, and
not much else you can do to emote.
Yeah.
Perplex.
Yeah.
So it was Nick Castle throughout the movie. Tony Moran was the one that was unmasked by Laurie. So the couple seconds where you see his mask off in the first movie, the actor's name was Tony Moran. Stuntman James Winburn. Production designer Tommy Lee Wallace, due to his knowledge of how much force would be needed to break different props and shit. Deborah Hill played Michael.
What?
Yes, in the external wide shot when Tommy sees Michael for the first time.
No shit.
Yeah. She explained she happened to bring the costume with her for that day, and no one else was available for the shot.
That's fucking cool, dude. That's what I love about old school horror flicks, though. The shit that they'll do just to fucking get it done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was great. That's incredible.
And if you guys remember when we talked about the Friday the 13th series in Friday 2, the first shot that you see of Jason, those feet in the puddle, that's a woman also.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Fucking awesome, dude.
So the opening shot appears to be a single tracking point of view, and they tried to pass it off as one for years. Like that whole opening shot where Michael kills his sister. There's actually 3 different cuts. Okay? So the first one is when the mask goes on. The second and third are after the murder is taking place and he's exiting the room. So this was done to make the point of view appear to move faster. So like when he's exiting the room, it's like a fast like turn, and then there's another fast turn, and then he goes down the stairs. So there's actually 3 different cuts to the scene, whereas they had always like tried to portray it as being one long tracking shot.
So real quick today, like I remember a scene where his mask came off of him, it was off of him, but I don't remember seeing like his face full on really good, like a good shot of his face. It
was like partially. You get a good shot in the first Halloween.
You get a good shot. Like, have they ever showed him completely unmasked at all? I know that. Well, I know in the newer ones they showed him kind of from the side almost.
Well, in the 2018 one, I think you can see his face in a reflection.
Can you really? Oh no,
yeah,
shit.
Because
okay.
Have you seen the 2018 Halloween yet?
I haven't. I just saw the commercial where the trailer where they show his. You can see part of him like
I don't
behind.
Think. Yeah. I don't think it was intentional, but there is one shot where there's a reflection in like a mirror or like the back of a car when he's getting his mask,
wild, dude.
And you can see his face there. But like they actually when I believe the guy's name was like I'm gonna say Jai Courtney, but that's wrong. That's the dude that played Boomerang.
Yeah,
the dude that played Michael. They actually made him up. Even when he wasn't like having to show his face was made up because like he had the dead eye because Michael did, so they were trying to keep him in character and try to like,
that's kind of almost like he has a mask without having a mask.
Yeah,
that's cool.
All right, that is kind of cool. God damn, I just thought it was cool because I like the fact that they never really have showed him, giving him a real clean, straight on shot of him.
Yeah.
Totally mask because it keeps the mystery of the character,
Like you said, even with Tyler Mane, there was mystery because, there was that side of the face that was, still covered.
Wasn't he the dude that played Sabretooth like in the X-Men movie?
Yes.
Okay.
Tyler Mane was the Michael Myers in the remakes.
So like the newest or the Rob Zombie ones?
The Rob Zombie ones.
Yeah.
That's why in that movie Michael Myers is bigger than he's ever been in his life.
Big as fuck, yeah.
Yeah, he's a big monster. I remember sometimes you're like, God, I don't remember him being that tall. Damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the actor that plays Joe Chisley is not a small man, and Tyler Mane is like a good head and shoulders above him.
Yeah,
because he's like 6'10".
Definitely.
Because he's the same size as Kevin Nash. Because they had already started making Sabretooth costumes for Kevin Nash. Because he originally was going to be Sabretooth in the X-Men movie over Tyler Mane.
That's right.
So that's one of the main reasons Tyler Mane was cast was because he was the same exact size as Kevin Nash.
Mm-hmm.
But and he's an awesome Michael Myers, I thought.
I did too.
Well, I like the Rob Zombie ones. So
I do too. I even like 2 with all the White Horse bullshit and all that. I like part 2.
I think for a lot of, it's like I like Tyler Maneism. I like his like that presence that he has, and then I'm just a Rob Zombie fan. I kind of tend to like everything that he does. To some extent,
Yeah, man. You mean all 7 songs that he's been doing for the past 25 years?
He just
his movies.
He just released a new album, man.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, but and you know what, it's all 7 of those songs all over again.
Oh man, fuck y'all! I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan, man. If I'm on a road trip. You put Rob Zombie on, I'm doing 100.
Keep his ass awake.
Fucking Dragula.
Anna likes him too. Yeah, he's got a couple songs that I like. I'm never, I always thought he was too much. He was too much of one of them entertainers that just goes too much for the look. Yeah, he reminds me of like the glam bands a little bit. Only he's like the dirty version of it, you know.
I love him, dude.
He wasn't even that dirty until the past 15 years or so.
I think
Yeah.
it just
I
got
would
old,
say
man.
that's probably true. Maybe he'd say he was getting old and he said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go with it." You know,
Yeah, I'm just ugly now. Like,
Yeah, fuck it.
You know,
If
similar what
Alice
we're all
Cooper-
dealing with.
Alice Cooper had to do the same thing. I mean, he was always
Mhm.
ugly, motherfucker. Though.
I'm sure he still has jet black hair, and it makes his face look all weird. Nick, was
Yeah,
there anyone
right.
like in the early goings, I guess, like that was like known is for playing Michael? I kind of like how like David Prowse was Darth Vader, right? Like, was there anyone that was like that?
Nick Castle is because Nick Castle
Mhm.
was the original, and for Halloween 2, the guy that they got to play, they for some reason didn't go with Nick Castle. I believe he was starting his directing career. And the
Interesting.
guy they went for in part 2 was like wider.
Yeah.
So it's,
Okay.
yeah. So Nick Castle is definitely like the prototypical Michael Myers, like Kane Hodder is to Jason, Nick Castle is to Michael Myers.
He's probably the best known for playing Jason. Kane Hodder was, so maybe
Yeah,
Castle's best known for. Oh, actually,
yeah.
that's wild, dude.
Another thing about this is John Carpenter dismisses the notion that Halloween is a morality play, like I was telling you guys. According to Carpenter, critics completely missed the point there. He explains the one girl. Oh, I already read you that. Oh, the one thing. Oh, okay, he states it a little differently. The one girl who is the most sexually uptight just keeps stabbing this guy with a long knife. She's the most sexually frustrated. She's the one that's killed him. Not because she's a virgin, but because all that sexually repressed energy starts coming out. She uses all those phallic symbols on the guy.
Wow.
That's interesting. I honestly, like, when I watched that movie, I don't get that. But
Yeah.
I never got that. I never have. I mean, I just thought she was like just trying to kill the motherfucker. You
Yeah.
know?
Before the Kirk mask was chosen, there were other masks in contention, including a Richard Nixon mask, Spock, and I'm not sure who Emmett Kelly is, but that was the other one that they were considering.
Emmett Kelly.
Yeah. Sandy
Great.
Johnson was a Playboy model who played Judith Myers. She did a rare interview. She did not like doing interviews. She was one of the people that was kind of stalked because of being in a Halloween movie.
Right.
A lot of people fetishized Judith Myers.
Of course. Yeah.
That the only thing she didn't like about making the movie is that the fake blood would stain her skin. Since she was topless during the scene where Michael kills her, the blood was applied all over her bare chest and stomach. And all of it had to be scrubbed off in between takes. She remembered that whoever was doing it was rough, so Jamie Lee Curtis had to do it for her. And she was much gentler.
Oh,
I bet. Jamie's like, "Come here, baby. I'll caress those bosoms."
yeah, it's probably some like some real life mongoloid, not like
I'll
James.
caress your bosoms.
Like Ross.
Yeah.
Lost them all.
Ross the Moss.
John Carpenter made $10,000 to write, direct, and score Halloween. It was only later on in life that they gave him percentage points on the back end.
Well, and I mean, like he had to have done other stuff, like
Oh yeah.
in the meantime, to at least like make some money.
Well, it's really funny though because you think of how big he would become down the road. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like his name is like it's like
yeah.
him and like Wes Craven. You know, like he just
Yeah,
associates
there's
him with
up there,
horror
you know?
movies.
I mean,
but and then
this-
think about him only making $10,000. You know.
I mean,
To
after
do that
this,
shit.
he did Christine, The Thing.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just known for doing some of the greats. You know.
Yeah. Escape from New York, Assault on Precinct
Yeah.
13.
I like John Carpenter's Vampires.
That was good too.
It's a good movie, dude.
I can't watch it now because James Woods is in it, but
Yeah, that movie got a lot
Okay.
of heat because of its the storyline of it. He got a lot of heat for that movie, actually, with the Catholic Church and shit.
Yeah.
It was one of those movies that, and of course that was just one of the many trends of the Catholics cause vampires.
Yeah.
So people are like, ah!
All right, guys. I got a game I want to play.
All right.
Halloween is famous as being one of the first slasher flicks. It obviously is not the first, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But it is one of the first, and it is considered a classic. What is the body count in Halloween, the first one?
I wouldn't know, man. I wouldn't even be able to hazard a
Take
guess.
a guess, and remember, it's a classic.
13.
No, it's single digits.
Okay.
I don't think it was over 10. I didn't think it was over 10.
Nope.
6.
But like
8.
Maya's
I'm gonna say
Maya's
8.
close at 7.
Oh, it's 7.
And-
Okay,
and
I was one off too. I don't know.
And if you want to be technical, they're counting 2 dogs, so it would be 5.
So actually, be 5 humans and then 2 dogs.
Yeah, so it was Judith Myers, the unnamed truck driver, the 2 dogs, Linda, Bob Sims, and Annie Brackett. And that's it.
Oh, man,
Wow.
I guess so. Yeah. All right. I guess I thought there was more people that he.
And I mean,
I might be thinking about Halloween. I might be bleeding into Halloween too. I'm bleeding. into
yeah, well,
Halloween.
it's easy
Should I do that?
because
Anyway.
Halloween 2, which we'll talk about now.
Right.
Halloween 2, the sequel. John Carpenter thought that Halloween 1 was a complete movie. That there was no need
Right.
for a sequel.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Right.
ask about. Like, if there was any plan to make this a
Yeah.
franchise, or did it kind of just come up after the success of the first one?
It came up after the success of the first one because the producer Mustafa Akkad loved it. Like,
Okay.
it was until his dying day, he was like the protector of the Halloween franchise.
Yeah.
His son now is involved to one of his sons is involved to an extent, but not, he doesn't have the same power Mustafa had. Michael, again, John Carpenter said the franchise should never have started. It should have been over at 1.
Oh wow.
They had like I said, it was a standalone movie. When the studio offered them more money, Carpenter took the job so he could earn back what he believes he was owed at the time. Because for part 1, he was only paid $10,000.
Yeah, but see, to him, he's like they shortchanged him for the first one, so he was just going to do the second one to get some go. I got you. That makes sense. Even though he didn't think they needed it.
Yeah. The script was not forming out as well as he wanted, and he was personally stated that the only thing helping him through the screenplay process was a 6-pack of Bud every day, which led to what he believes an inferior script and bad choices in the movie's story. He later called Halloween 2 an abomination and a horrible movie.
Oh my god, dude. Wow.
Something interesting. This is the only Halloween movie to show the morning after the 31st. Because if you remember, Halloween 2 takes place exactly after Halloween 1.
Halloween 1, right? It's like almost a continuation, dude. It's like
Yep.
Yeah, that's why I think when you were doing the body count thing, I think I was bleeding in, like I did it again into Halloween 2. Because the beginning of Halloween 2, it was.
Now, there's a lot of shit about the mask in this movie, okay? The problem with the mask is the exact same mask from part 1, okay?
Okay.
It looks different in the sequel because the paint had faded due to a few reasons. The first, because Nick Castle, the original Michael, just kept it in his back pocket while he was shooting.
That's funny.
So, after the first Halloween movie, what they call the main mask in a movie is a hero mask because it's for the hero shots. So this is what they're talking about is the hero mask. So after the first movie, Deborah Hill took the mask and put it under her mattress. Well, the problem with that is that it collected dust and yellowed because she was a 4-pack-a-day smoker.
Oh, so it got all the nicotine buildup and shit on it. Oh, nasty.
That much
Great.
underneath a mattress?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Over
Yeah,
4
imagine that.
years.
She must be a heavy smoker, dude. That chick's like a 2-pack a day chick right there.
Yeah.
Maybe a carton a day. I don't know.
I know, right?
She-
Oh god, I
Damn.
lost my place. Hold on a
that's
sec.
fucking nuts, dude.
Oh yeah.
Under the mattress,
hero
and
mask.
still got shit all over it.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
And the other thing that I may have mentioned a little bit earlier is that the actor, and this dude has the best name of all time. Okay, the actor that played Michael Myers, that is most famous for Part 2. His name is Dick Warlock.
Dick Warlock. Wow, man.
dude, that's like Dirk Diggler, you know, Dick
Warlock.
Dickerson.
His name really cuts glass, you know? Dirk.
Dirk Diggler.
Oh,
Warlock.
I always-
Wow, that's a powerful name, dude.
Yeah, it is. My son always says if you go into porn, he would Dick. What do you say? Dick Dickler is what he wanted to call himself. I was like, oh, that the old repeating. I got you, great.
So Warlock was significantly shorter than Castle, but he was also wider. So when you look at the mask on Michael, it looks like it's stretched out now.
Because he had a
Because
big
it's the
head.
same
Fat
exact,
face.
and he's got a fat face.
Fat ass face.
As the producers thought it would be the final sequel in the series, they let Warlock keep the mask, the scalpel, the boots, the jumpsuit,
Wow.
and the knife. When they finally,
Christ.
when they finally decided to
Let me get all this shit.
when they finally decided to revive Michael in Halloween 4, the producers realized they made a mistake and never gave props out to the crew and staff.
Yeah, because they were like, "Fuck." You know, I wonder, did he ever do anything with that stuff? Did he sell it, or did he like fucking hawk it or something, or did he put it into a?
I believe the man's dead now, and I do think that he either sold it or donated it. So
Yeah, that'd be. I mean, that's a piece. That's pieces of movie history. You know what I mean? Props like that that was pretty big movies. You know, I don't know. That's cool as shit, dude. All right, now before we jump to 4.
Oh no, I've still got shitload of stuff about 2.
Then you let me know when you're done with 2 because I have a question.
Well, why don't you go ahead and ask that now, and I'll go ahead and take care of it.
What's the deal with 3? And I never got exactly. All I know is all I was told was that Michael Myers isn't in 3. I've never seen 3 before.
Isn't that the season of the witch one?
Yes,
That's the thing. I think that's what
I've never seen that either.
And I want to know do you know what the thinking was behind that, or
absolutely. Okay. John Carpenter told them to go fuck themselves when they wanted him to make another Michael Myers movie.
Sorry, I almost spit my coffee out.
So as a compromise, what they did was they told John Carpenter it would be an anthology movie that he could write. So he wrote parts of Season of the Witch. They didn't like what he did, so somebody else came in, and I don't remember the director's name, but he worked on Halloween 2. Not as the director, but he was somebody else. And so that's what they so they did what they were trying to do was see if Halloween could survive as a franchise without Michael.
That was a big mistake because that's the one that no one forgets about. Like people go, yeah, Halloween 1, 2, and 4.
Most people think 4 is part 3. You know?
Yeah. I've had people say that between before too.
Yeah.
I didn't understand it because it made no sense to me. Like
it was also
you got the character, you know.
It was also Mustafa Akkad what he was going to do was split the franchise, because he figured if he could keep John Carpenter on and happy doing something, that was bankable.
Okay.
So what ended up happening with 3 was when John Carpenter and Deborah Hill dropped off the project completely and it wasn't as popular as 2 or 1. They were like, "Oh, fuck this shit! Halloween's dead. There's no reason."
Bail. Yeah.
So it took a long time for for part 4 to come out.
Right. That's why there was there definitely was a gap. I
Yeah.
remember there was being a bit of gap between, but it's like You know what it is? That's what happens, honestly, when motherfuckers that don't know what they're talking about stick their noses in shit, right? And they think that they know
like Warner
better,
Brothers.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Good point. Good point. All right, I was just curious,
Oh,
dude.
no.
I didn't mean to derail it or anything.
Oh, you're not
Halloween 3
derailing
has
at
been
all,
something
dude.
I've
No, I asked you guys
been
to come up with
curious about.
questions because
That's
Yeah.
what I wondered about that myself. Like, I knew that there was like this strange kind of one-off
Yeah.
one that like just didn't
Yeah.
fit with the.
It's like if you talk about it, people go, "Shh, we do not talk of that."
and see, we'll get into this a little deeper too when we talk about part 6. Part 6, they were going to split the franchise again. The original ending of part. Oh, all right, I'll just talk about it with part 6 because we still got shit to do on part 2.
That's fine. That's cool. That's cool.
Fun fact about Jamie Lee Curtis: she will, by the time Halloween Ends comes out, which it will be in 2023, I believe. Halloween Kills comes out next year in 2021 on October 15th. Check the teaser if you haven't seen it. It's fucking beautiful. Came out yesterday.
Yeah.
Awesome. So by the time that Halloween Kills, when that comes out, Jamie Lee Curtis will have played Laurie Strode in 6 different decades.
Wow.
She played Laurie in 78, 81, 98, 2002, and 2018.
That's fucking phenomenal.
So when Halloween Kills comes out, she will have played Laurie Strode in 6 different decades.
Wow, that's insane to think about. That means we're all just getting really old.
Well, yeah, but it's really cool because see, think about it. She's playing the same character, okay, and they've kept this character involved in the movies, like through all this time, you know, and it's kind of awesome. It's no wonder she's so fucking iconic for that role. I always think of her for other roles, you know, but people go and remember if you forget to mention the Halloween movies, people like get a little pissy about it. It's like, dude, fuck you talking about? That's great. Maybe that's why. That's pretty cool, man. God damn.
Now,
Jamie, man.
Now, have all of you seen Halloween 2, the original?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had a long time ago.
Okay.
Man. I don't even remember it.
I own it. I've got the original 2 on DVD and then the Rob Zombie 2 on DVD.
Nice.
That's cool.
There's a really famous shot of Michael with tears of blood coming down the mask after he gets stabbed in the eyes. To achieve the bloody tears scene, what they did was in the mask's forehead, they put a bulb of fake blood. And when he stumbled back and put his hand on the mask, that's when the blood was released and came down like this. And then the mask was so tight on his face that it started coming down like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, man.
In an 81 interview in Fangoria, Deborah Hill is deceased now, by the way. She died of cancer a few years ago. She told of how there was consideration of making Halloween 2 in 3D. We investigated a number of 3D processes, but they were far too expensive for this particular project. Also, most of the projects we do involve a lot of night shooting. Evil lurks at night. It's hard to do that in 3D. Which you could say that, but Friday the 13th Part 3 came out like...
I would say that like, other people would figure this out.
But
like a year or two later, and that was it.
But you know what? 3D back in those days, it sucked. It was really bad.
Yeah,
I didn't like it at all.
And
3D still sucks.
But in all honesty,
it does still suck, but it was really bad back then.
The gimmicks for Friday the 13th 3D are awesome now.
They found a way to utilize. They found a way to utilize it, but it's still. Maybe this could be a personal preference for me. So this is a personal. I just don't like movies in 3D because I think the effect is, and if the effect, especially, and if it's never utilized properly, it never, and so it might be used like a couple times in the movie, and then the rest of the time it's just not there. It's the part, Friday the 13th Part 3. It's almost like they went out of their way to utilize it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? They really did. You know, so. And I get that. It was just like, y'all remember Jaws in 3D?
Jaws 3D was shit fucking coming out. It was a movie. It was a movie about like this. It was basically about a face hugger, but like it could only attack you when you were scared. And when you were scared, you would feel the tingle. So what they did was they put joy buzzers in the fucking seats that the people would set off at certain times during the film.
Oh my god, dude, that's fucked up.
There's a movie about this man, and I cannot for the life of me remember his name. But it is an excellent movie, and Vincent Price was in a lot of those.
Fucking incredible. The effects that they would, the weird ass effects they would try to incorporate. I'm telling you, God. I don't know.
And like,
but,
according to Dick Warlock, Deborah Hill was on set throughout the shoot.
Dick Warlock. Wow, man.
I know. I love that name.
It's a great name.
She was on set throughout the shoot, including his stalking scenes. At one point, he asked her about his slow walk, and she replied, "It's fine. Keep doing that." After the release of the film, she said in an interview that he walked too slow and didn't resemble Nick Castle's portrayal.
It's like iconic, right?
Dude. It's what she's saying. She's like, yeah, it's fine. This fucker sucks. Anyway.
Just fucking get this shit out right.
Oh, man, that's great.
Again, the thing about Halloween, scary, not a lot of gore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not scary, but jump scares and enjoyable.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And the stalker scare too, man. Because he's there. He's
the anticipation. Well, this is one of the only slasher films in '81 to remain uncut, which means they didn't have to try to go to the MPA to make cuts. Because you got to figure, Friday the 13th Part 2 came out that year, and so did My Bloody Valentine.
Oh, I remember My Bloody Valentine. I definitely remember that. That was a fucking that's
that movie, man. The 3D one that came out in I guess 2009. That was like Jackie and I's first date, dude. We went and saw that movie in 3D. Every time I think about that, every time I think of that movie or see that movie, it had a dude from Supernatural in it, I think.
Yeah, it was Padalecki.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Someone who had a cameo in this, Dana Carvey.
What? No shit.
Dana Carvey was in this. He was in one scene. Yep.
Sorry, I don't even remember him, dude. Goddamn, who did he play?
It was just a cameo. It was just like...
So, just a rando? Yeah. Maybe that's why I didn't... I'm going to have to go back and watch that motherfucker now.
And, that's why that's one of the reasons I like doing these things, because last year, I kept in touch with Gary during it, and, he was going through, and we were talking about, he was watching the Jasons. He had to tap out at 6.
Yeah. It actually made me want to go back. I had to go back and watch the old school Friday the 13th, too. Ones I hadn't watched in a long time. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the more recent shit. Although, guys, I just recently saw Jason Goes to Hell. I hadn't seen that, and I just recently saw that. Yeah. I gotta admit, I was pretty. Yeah, I was pretty
shit.
I won't lie. I was like.
That's why New Line sold the rights back to Paramount.
Yeah, they took it. I mean, the only cool thing about that movie was the very end when the claw comes up, and it's just because it was the total setup, obviously for what we get down the link, years later. But it was a shit movie. I'm sorry to say. I like Jason X better than that one. How about that?
Oh, that one's shit too.
Yeah,
no. Jason X is fun.
It's fun. Jason X was fun. It's shit, but it's funny. There's good scenes where you'll laugh. In Jason Goes to Hell, it was just kind of. I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't enjoy it at all.
The only serious Kane Hodder one was 7.
Yeah,
the New Blood.
Yeah,
because Hodder did 7. He did Manhattan. He did Goes to Hell, and he did X.
Well, see, I didn't. I can't say that. Manhattan had a couple of funny.
Yeah,
had fun moments, but overall, I didn't care for it. But it did have moments. New Blood was probably the last Friday the 13th movie I really enjoyed. To be honest with you.
See, and they started they started doing sillier stuff starting with 6.
Because I thought so too.
Yeah, because in 6, that's the one where he jumps at Bumblebee and throws the fucking pike through the tire, and then when she dies, the fucking American Express car rolls out, and like that was a planned thing. Like when we were talking about, you know, Friday the 13th, that, you know, they were expecting people to yell, "Don't leave home without it." You know, shit like that.
Right.
Oh, and I'm looking through my notes. You asked what happened to the stuff. Dick Warlock sold the mask, knife, scalpel, boots, and jumpsuit to a hounded house owner in 2003.
That name, it's so funny, man.
It's fucking wonderful, dude. So he did sell that shit off. I wonder how much he got for that. Probably not as much as he should have. He's like, "God, just some drinking money, dude.
Yeah.
I need
Probably just some beer money, you know."
Yeah,
Probably a bottle of Aristocrat.
right.
Take my dick and my warlock skills and
Yeah. In the novel,
So would he have big dick energy?
I guess that.
I guess it doesn't matter because he could probably just use his spells
Those
to project
fucking
that all
go.
the time, no matter what, you know.
The warlock.
Pinio Leviosa.
Pinio gigantus.
Oh shit.
Now we're getting into some of the fun stuff about part 2. There was a guy at the beginning of part 2 who was dressed up as Michael Myers. Okay, and then he gets fucking hit by the police car into the news van and catches on fire. And then in the novelization, because he was wearing a Michael Myers mask, it was supposed to be Ben Tramer. Ben Tramer in the original Halloween was the one that Laurie Strode was asking about going out with and stuff.
Yeah.
So that ties this movie into the first one too. Yeah. Again, this was originally intended to be the final film to feature Myers, Loomis, or Strode. They purposely killed off Myers and Loomis because they wanted to end the storyline. When he was asked to do a second sequel, he chose to continue the franchise as an anthology, which I already told you guys.
Right.
Yep. He was shot a total of 14 times in the film.
Good lord.
Yeah.
7 before he escaped from the Doyle residence. 5 after he was confronted by Loomis, Laurie, and Nurse Chambers, and twice by Laurie in the operating room. So, like, you know, people talk about like Jason being very resilient and everything. Well, this motherfucker is too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Well, and as far as we know, Michael Myers didn't have any supernatural abilities. Like Jason's a supernatural.
They go into it later on.
Do they? Okay. That's a lot of stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Dana Carvey cameo that I mentioned is at around 22 minutes. It is his movie debut. He plays an assistant.
Okay.
He can be seen again at the end of the movie around 1 hour and 27 minutes when the film crew follows Laurie to the ambulance.
All right.
Yeah, so he's in there twice.
Must be quick.
Yeah. Well, and also you wouldn't be looking for him in that, you know.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. Because back in the day,
it looks all different too. Like,
yeah,
right. Oh, he doesn't have his porn stash like he does now.
Sure.
Anyway.
Oh man, and he does some weird shit with facial hair.
Yeah, he does.
That dude always has like he's like a sneaker dude, I think. So I always see him like he's got like a show or like on, I don't know what it's on, but I see him like he's got like he knows sneaker stuff. You know?
Yeah.
So this one, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
Unreal, dude.
Alan B. McElroy wrote this script in 11 days to beat the writer's strike by a few hours.
Wow, he was in a hurry, man. Holy shit.
John Carpenter wrote a treatment for the film that had a more ghostly psychological approach to Michael. It concerned the town of Haddonfield and what the effect of the events of the first 2 movies had on it.
Okay.
The concept was later rejected by producers in favor of the typical slasher fare, and that's when John Carpenter was like, "Fuck you."
He was officially, I'm out.
Yeah.
It sucks, man, because it's like I like that concept, especially if you're really invested into the fiction of it. Like you would like to see something like that play out. You know?
Mm-hmm.
A famous actress auditioned for the role of Jamie, who is Michael's niece in this, and it was Melissa Joan Hart. Sabrina could have been
Sabrina.
Yeah, Sabrina could have been Jamie.
Oh wow!
And Danielle Harris has probably turned into this generation's scream queen. I mean, the work she did as a kid, then the stuff in the Rob Zombie Halloweens too. She's done some other movies. She's great.
Yeah.
All right. In the original script, the opening shot was of a long hospital blowing up, like for the end, from like the end of part 2. They were going to start, they were going to do exactly what they did in part 2, go straight from part 2 and then do a time lapse.
Right.
So like they're trying to say, like, in the comments, like in the facts about the movie, that they tried to distance it from 1 and 2. They were like basically ignoring 2, but like it still fits in exactly because Michael's just been gone and nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
Let's see. Some really cool shit happened in this movie. Just some behind the scenes shit. So Danielle Harris wouldn't be scared. The actor that played Michael, George P. Wilbur, in the majority of the scenes, would often lift up his mask during takes and be like, "It's only a movie. You're a great little girl, and I'm not gonna hurt you, Michael." You know?
Yeah. He's like, I'm not.
That's awesome. That is. Hold up. That. Stop saying his name. Stop.
Too good, man. It sounds made up.
No, it just doesn't even sound real.
It wasn't.
That's cool as shit that he did that. Though.
George P. Wilbur, and Dick Warlock. There you go.
Yeah,
and
right.
Nick
like
Castle.
Nick, that's a good one too, man.
Yeah,
that's a good porn name, Nick. Nick, if you ever look for a second career and wanna,
Nick Castle.
My OnlyFans is coming, baby. Don't you worry.
At Nick_Castle.
Nick Cummings.
Like, my mom named me Penis Magic. What are you talking about? Like, it's my name.
In part 4, the girl Lindsay who drove Rachel and Jamie to the discount mart where they were picking out her little Halloween costume was going to be revealed to be Lindsay Wallace from the original Halloween.
Oh, no shit.
And there were the 3 guys. Go ahead.
That the little girl that was
with
Tommy's
Tommy?
Friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So they were originally going to bring her and Tommy back in part 4. Tommy was supposed to be the 3rd friend in the in that scene, in the drug mart scene or whatever it is.
Huh. So they definitely have plans to try to connect they were definitely making sure they had a connection from the original, the first one. And that's fucking awesome, dude. I don't know.
Okay, now have you guys seen the first trailer for the next one coming out, Halloween Kills?
I haven't seen the trailer yet. I'm gonna have to watch it, dude.
Well, there was one before this one where Jamie Lee's in the back of a truck. And, like, they're driving away from the scene, and you can see them pulling Michael's body out of the house, and she's like, "No, let him burn!" And she just screams, "Let him burn," like 3 or 4 times. Well, they filmed a scene for part 4 that was a flashback to 2, where Loomis is being tended to by the paramedics when he sees the burning body of Michael. Loomis starts yelling at the techs to let him burn. So, like, there's a lot of stuff, like, that I'm going to tell you guys that just listen to later, because we're going to have to do a second part of this show where we go through the reboots. But if you follow along, there's a lot of information in these that's going to come up later also. George P. Wilbur wore hockey pads under the suit to give Michael a more imposing
I'm
figure.
not wearing hockey pads.
But he was like, I am wearing it.
Yeah, just to bulk him up, basically. is what you're
Yeah.
saying, to kind of give him more. Okay, all right, that's cool.
And they revealed
like a
in the
little
same
skinny
they
fucker.
revealed in the same documentary they were kind of like giving Wilbur shade because the next guy, his name is Don Shanks.
This is the gift that keeps on giving, dude.
Don Shanks
Oh my
was
God.
big enough that this was not required.
Oh my God, Don Shanks. How appropriate. He's like, hey, I'm Don Shanks.
Oh shit! I just fucked my mic up. So there's a fucking scene in the movie where Danielle Harris as Jamie is running through neighborhoods, knocking on doors, trying to get help from Michael screaming. Well, they did this in a neighborhood they didn't have a permit in. Somebody called the fucking cops.
Jesus Christ, dude.
Let's see if there's anything else.
Hey, what year did the fourth one come out?
I think 89.
89.
that way?
Because it just sounds like something that would happen in the 80s to me from movies. You know, they forget to get permits and they just go or don't even think about doing it. I don't know. It's so funny.
Let it rip, dude.
Yeah, it's just an 80s thing. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, it was 88.
It was 88. Okay,
Yeah, I knew it was 88 or 89.
You know, I mean, I feel like when there was just a lot of crazy stories about movies when they were shooting movie, and you know, lots of different movies that were being shot where stupid shit like that would happen. You know,
It's amazing because like going back and researching these, it's all the 80s horror movies. Like that, the stuff that happened on this Friday the 13th sets is fucking awesome. And then there's even stuff that happens in like the Paul Rudd one that's nuts.
Yeah, it's oh god, that's fucking great, dude. So the police show up and they're like, "Yo, what the fuck are you doing?"
Oh man,
that's great, dude. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, and like people, because like if you watch Halloween 2, it was obvious they tried to kill all of them except for Laurie. Like Loomis, they shot that scene later when they knew that when they were doing the reshoots for the original Halloween, because they figured that there was going to be a third one coming, and they didn't want, so they left Laurie and Loomis alive, but their original intention was to kill all three. So it was pretty obvious Loomis was supposed to be dead. So what they did for 4, 5, and 6 is they put scar makeup all over like one side of his face and hand.
Right.
And like the thing was the scars changed from shot to shot
because they got to redo his makeup and shit.
And it's
back then they didn't have the foresight to mark exactly the precise locations to reapply them.
Yeah. And it changed. They didn't like the makeup during the dailies, so they would change it. And the same thing happened in 5 and 6. And then in 6, the poor guy was basically on his fucking deathbed.
Yeah, that's fucking great, dude.
And then like they kept fucking with the mask too. They would make the eye holes bigger. They were trying to like put more shielding up on the eyes so you can see as much. And the guy's like, dude, I can't fucking see. I can't do the stunts.
Right. It's like, yeah, I appreciate the look you're going for, but I have to has to function a little bit too.
So
it's wild, dude.
There's no way I can widen the eyes and change the filter within 3 minutes of when we're filming, because if we do the glue, it would be fresh, and the actor underneath it would actually faint and fall over and kill himself. Morga backed Horn up, and the producer relented. There was no time to safely make the change that day, so they stopped filming. However, that was the final straw for the producer, who later fired Horn in front of the entire crew. What he forgot, though, is
Christ.
that there was a Fangoria magazine writer there visiting the set that day. The writer
Oops.
knew Horn and was sympathetic to the stress he was under and went to the producer with an ultimatum. Either rehire Horn immediately or Fangoria will do nothing to promote the movie.
Oh, no shit. Now, back in those days, it's important to know how important that magazine was because
dude, Fangoria was the best.
Yeah, man,
it
I
was
remember.
the best. But it was important because it did a lot of promo stuff. They would do a lot. They would do photo shoots of on-set shit for horror movies and stuff. They did a lot of cool stuff. And they were kind of like the biggest supporter. I mean, the only supporter, I guess, magazine wise, or anything for like strictly horror. You know, was their thing.
And it was something that you would see like on the fucking like grocery store
grocery
shelves.
stores.
Like,
Yeah,
'cause I
it
remember
was.
for me, it was like I'd go to the comic shops, I'd get Toy Fair and Wizard, and then like when I was at the grocery store, I'd get Fangoria, and like it was like to me was like the holy trinity.
Yeah, that was the first magazine that my mom got. Like my mom got me a subscription to it because I begged her for a subscription, and so I got like 2 years, a 2-year subscription. My mom actually paid for it. I was like, wow, that's got that. I can't believe I got my cheap ass mom to pay for that shit. But it worked out.
That's the thing. Like I feel like that's not something that happens anymore. It's like there's like one.
What,
print-
Russ's mom paying for shit?
Yeah, you mean
Yeah,
Ross?
right?
Ross. But just like
Ross.
one source kind of being like the monopoly on a medium, right? Like the way Wizard was
Yeah,
with
I mean,
comic books, the way Toy Fair was with toys.
Mhm. Yeah, they really did. They really were huge. So, like, if people wonder how this guy had the stroke to do that, it's because they were important for the success of horror flicks.
Yeah.
and they were, so it was a big thing. I could see why they, that's pretty ballsy still, but hey, what the hell,
So
that's fucking cool.
after viewing a rough edit, it was decided that the movie was too soft.
Oh,
So they brought in a special effects expert named John Carl Buechler for 1 day of extra quote-unquote blood filming.
Jesus Christ, dude.
The thumb in the forehead and the redneck's head getting twisted all the way around were both done by him.
Oh, that's great, dude.
So this is the first movie in the series that Michael kills before Halloween. He murders
Right.
all 4 people in the ambulance on the night of the 30th.
Yeah.
Now we get into fucking part 5. I don't know about you guys. A lot of people hate 6.
I like 6.
Well,
I like 6.
Even with its weird, 5 was the weak one for me.
5 was
Five.
5. I remember watching it, and yeah. I mean, by then I don't know. I might have been a little biased because I was Nightmare on Elm Street heavy on by that point, so I was just kind of like, I don't know.
I mean, 5 has some good moments, like when he's hunting Jamie through the fucking laundry chute and shit and stabbing it.
Yeah.
There's good shit in it, but 5 was really weak. 5 to me has the second worst mask in the series. The first, in my humble opinion, of course, the worst mask is there. Well, the majority of the worst masks were in 7, H2O. That digital mask was fucking horrendous. Like, fucking be a real movie. You're made by Dimension. Get a mask. Don't just fucking try to CGI one when it looks like that.
Yeah.
okay. I'm looking at Halloween 5 photos right now. This mask does look silly.
Oh
like
my-
the neck
Yeah.
looks too
Yeah.
big.
No, it definitely. Yeah. It was.
It looks like he's got like
Yeah.
a scoop neck shirt on.
Oh, and the
It's
other thing
strange.
I forgot to mention, I believe it's in 4. There is there's an even worse mask. It's a pink and fucking blonde Shatner mask. They bought a Shatner mask colored that way, and nobody thought to fucking paint it or dye the hair.
Oh, dude, I just found a picture of it. That looks ridiculous.
So-
It looks like David Bowie. Man.
Yeah, so it looks like William Shatner with rosacea and a bad dye job.
Yeah, And it's like you can't find like a good
man.
photo of it. It's just like in quick like
Yeah,
little cuts. Yeah, that's
it was only in like 1 or 2 shots.
Dude, you know who he looks like? I won't say it.
I'm not gonna. I was gonna let you bury yourself.
But that movie was huge.
Oh man, this is the lowest grossing film in the entire series according to Box Office Mojo.
I'm sure.
Don Shanks. Now this is the one that started the bullshit with the Man in Black that goes between this one and 6. So Don Shanks, the guy that played Michael Myers in this movie, admits that he played the Man in Black in most of the scenes because they hadn't decided who it was going to be yet.
Jesus Christ.
Donald Pleasance was on the set for 2 weeks total. When he left, they had given poor Danielle Harris like a small trailer, like one of those like, you know, aluminum ones that's about 6 feet across. So, Donald Pleasance always had a nice trailer because of his status, and so what he did was when he left, he said that, you know, the trailer stays and it goes to this young woman who is now the star of your movie, and I just think that's such a classy move, you know.
That's probably kind of awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Now, something weird that goes on with Halloween and Friday the 13th at this time is the similarities between Jamie and Tommy. Okay. Both characters appeared in both 4, 5, and 6. Okay, of their respective franchises as characters. Okay, they both become institutionalized and develop homicidal tendencies after the killer.
Yeah.
In this film, Jamie starts out as a mute. In the 5th Friday, Tommy doesn't speak. That's the one where he was played by the religious nut.
Yeah.
At the end of that film, Tommy is seen holding a knife and essentially supposed to become Jason.
Becomes the new Jason. Yep.
Supposedly, and then they go to part 6.
That's kind of what they set it up to look like. So
yeah,
you know, but
Friday always ignored the endings of the other ones.
I know. There's not a lot of continuity. Just wasn't that important. So.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. You go from the end of fucking Jason in Manhattan, where he's destroyed by toxic waste, to him just fucking walking around, fucking jacked as fucking the beginning of part 9.
Yeah.
And in this one, Jamie is seen holding a pair of scissors, and she essentially becomes Michael because she stabs somebody with those scissors. I can't remember who. The film's first screenplay, which was written by Shem Bitterman, featured Jamie Lloyd and Michael Myers as dual antagonists, with a now teenage Jamie going on a killing spree of her own, with Myers attempting to kill her because she was unwittingly interfering with his own spree, with the Rachel character caught in the middle. That sounds fucking awesome to me. It sounds a lot better than what we got. Mustafa Akkad disliked the screenplay, feeling it felt more like a parody of the series. Because he had already promised Danielle Harris that she would be allowed to return as Jamie, and did not think that the 12-year-old Harris would be credible as a serial killer. So it was rewritten from scratch by Michael Jacobs and the director, though Bitterman remained credited for contractual reasons.
Jesus Christ, dude. Once again, motherfuckers they're not thinking outside the box, man.
Yeah.
That would have been pretty neat. That would have been pretty cool, actually.
Now, I'm going to read these next 2 parts together. Writer-director Robert Harders pitched a rejected treatment that echoed Frankenstein. Picking up directly after the events of Halloween 4, he said in a 2017 interview with Dread Central, "I proposed opening the story with a tremendous storm, thunder, fierce lightning, and shattered timbers, concrete, wires, and rebar, entangling and supporting the lifeless body of Michael Myers, and channeling these storms life-giving electrical current from the heavens into the body of our creature and bringing him back to life." Wow. So yes, that does ape Frankenstein. It also apes Friday the 13th, part 6.
Because when he got the grave, he got
Yep.
struck. Yeah. Where he was buried at. Yeah, that's wild, dude. And all the
Now-
fucking parts comes together.
Now, see, what they did do was they added a hermit into it. Okay, they showed the end of part 4 where Mike gets, click clack by all those guns. Okay, and
Right,
so at the beginning of 5, it's him falling down into that grave, and then for some reason the grave has like a sinkhole or something, and he falls out into a river and gets picked up by a hermit. So the old hermit from the opening scene was originally scripted as a younger man named Dr. Death, who had a fascination with the occult. His shack was
wasn't he in Batman Zero Year?
Yeah. His shack was supposed to be filled with
Ever.
ancient runes and tablets. See, they were going to go to the Thorn stuff even earlier.
Oh, okay.
And
That's
so,
what you-
like,
okay.
it was going to be, instead, he was trying to use, like, black magic to bring Michael back to life. Whereas, like, basically what ended up happening was the same thing as in part 4. He was in a coma for a bit, and then he kills the hermit and gets the fuck out. So that's like two ties that you have to the Frankenstein mythos, because you have the hermit from the bride, and then you have also the proposed idea of, having him in, and getting struck by lightning to come back to life.
So that's introducing kind of the supernatural aspect of it too a bit. It's kind of interesting.
Now,
All right. That's pretty cool.
Donald Pleasance had disagreements, stating that Jamie should have been portrayed as all evil after stabbing her stepmother. Akkad disagreed, thinking that fans wanted to see more of the Shape. In an interview, Danielle Harris explained what she thought of the idea. The way Halloween 4 ended, I thought I was going to be the killer. I thought I would have been fun to come back as the killer or Michael's sidekick. Scary but fun. All right, filming the scene where Donald Pleasance accidentally hit and broke the nose of Donald Shank. So
in real life, he broke his nose.
he real life broke his nose with he hits him with a board or some shit.
God damn, dude.
So what they do, he's got a broken nose. They had to cut the fucking nose off the mask and put paper over it.
Oh, okay. Oh my god, dude.
I love it. Broken nose. We ain't stopping to shoot. Get the fuck on. Fix that shit up.
That's so annoying too. Having a broken
Now,
nose
I mean,
is the worst.
Think about nowadays though. If an actor gets hurt like that, they're gonna stop shooting. You know what I mean? For at least a day or
6
two.
weeks.
Yeah, so yeah. I mean, look at Harrison Ford trips and breaks his leg on the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. They were postponing until next year.
Yeah, right. It's funny how back in those days they just didn't give a shit.
Even with it being one of the weaker, in my opinion, anyways, points in the franchise, they had to fight an X rating.
Did they really? No
yeah,
shit.
some scenes that were trimmed down to keep it R, including a shot of there was a character named Mike. Michael Myers stabbed him in the head with a hand rake. And so so like after that there was a shot of him like on the ground like twitching and shit. Daddy cut that.
That'd have been great.
There's a scene where Mike punches through a fucking cop car windshield and kills the cop. Well, there was a shot after that was going to show the cop's head back like this with a piece of glass through it from Mike punching the thing so hard.
Thing?
Huh?
Never mind.
Oh, sorry, man. I'm trying to just get through it, man. I'm sorry.
Never mind.
Billy's leg being hit by the Camaro. They had to cut that because they were going to show it like crushed and shit. In the scythe.
I'm telling you, there's nothing worse than taking a Camaro to the leg. It's how I lost mine.
Damn. Absolutely.
The scythe that
You
killed.
won't believe how common that is.
I know, right? The scythe that kills Samantha, he has like a legitimate like fucking Grim Reaper scythe in one scene and kills the chick. Well, the original of it was the scythe going through her fucking forehead.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Can you
Yeah.
find that footage online still, or is that like gone?
I don't know. Feel free to look up any of this if you want, but I'm
See,
not
I don't know
sure
that
about that.
I don't know that they ever did a version of that, but they released an extended version of that
Yeah.
movie or an uncut. I don't know if
For-
they ever did. So
See, 4 and 5 were put together so fast, like back to back.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of special features. There's been documentaries about both movies done like within the last decade because people are curious about them. But there wasn't a lot of special features for those movies, unlike 6, where 6 has 2 different versions of the whole fucking movie. Like,
right.
there's like commentaries for both versions, like the director fighting with the producer over it, and yeah. So speaking of that, let's get to part 6. Paul Rudd's film debut.
Yeah.
It was filmed before Clueless, but Clueless hit the theater first.
Okay.
Most of the cast and crew disowned this movie. On the Halloween 25 Years of Terror DVD, they stated that the studio producers and director interfered and argued to the point of ridiculousness, which resulted in a very poorly directed and edited film. I like this one. This is one of my favorites in the entire franchise.
Yeah.
I think it's got some of the most brutal kills in this. I mean, when the first kill is the one where he fucking spikes the nurse on that fucking thing on the wall. He kills Jamie next by throwing her on farm equipment and eviscerating her.
Yeah.
And then he kills
pretty fucking rough, dude.
Dude, then he kills the father by fucking electrocuting him like in one of the craziest electrocution scenes you'll see in a movie. Like it's nuts. It's brutal. This movie is the most brutal Halloween until Rob Zombie gets involved.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say of the original Halloween of the original saga, I guess they call it, right? Yeah, I would say that one had definitely the most creative kills though too.
Yeah,
interesting. You know.
Danielle Harris wanted to be Jamie, but turned it down when Dimension Films refused to pay her the $5,000 she was asking for.
Wow,
they're fucking retarded, dude. That's just it's the cheapest, dude. It kills me.
Like that's not a lot of money, you know.
And then the
by
thing,
that time,
dude,
especially no.
The thing about it was she was only 17 at the time, so like they were worried if they cast her like legal issues and shit. She went and got herself legally emancipated so that she could still be in consideration for the film, and then they don't want to pay her $5,000.
Yeah.
It would have been cool to bring her back because she had done. I always like when they can keep the same actors in a role because I think it adds to continuity. Even though I know horror movies don't give a fuck about continuity. Yeah, but I mean that would have been pretty cool.
Now later on, Harris, they were still talking with her, and they. What they ended up doing, besides the $5,000, was they refused to pay for her legal fees for getting herself emancipated. So that's all she was trying to do. She was asking for $5,000 and pay my legal fees that I went and did so that I could star in your movie.
Yeah, and they said basically, now we're gonna get somebody else.
Yeah.
We're gonna go pay some chick $2,000.
We're gonna pay some chick $2,500. So she befriended J.C. Brandy, who is the actress that took over her role, who ended up being treated poorly on the set because Harris ended up not being there. Which sucks for that poor girl. I mean, it's not her fault that she's taken over a role from somebody that was, It's just like William Earl, Jackie Earl Haley taking over Freddy. It's not his fault.
Mm-hmm. Man, he did a good job too. I thought he was creepy.
I think the makeup failed him.
The makeup failed him, but I think his demeanor and everything. I think he was actually a very creepy version. He wasn't the jokey, ha ha, one-liner
Yeah.
Freddy.
He was a victim of bad writing, though, too, man. I just think that version, that new one was just shitty. And I don't know. I don't even know if it was his fault. It wasn't his fault. I just feel like he got dropped into a situation where, not to mention, whenever you're trying to revamp a movie, we all know how that goes. Yeah. Especially the character is iconic, the actor is iconic that played the character. You're trying to do the same role. You're going to get bombed for it, See, where Jason and Michael Myers, those characters lucked out is they didn't have. Jason had for Kane Hodder, so it was kind of like that was an iconic. He played them quite a few times. So, but it wasn't like Robert Englund. You know what I mean? He was synonymous for that role, and just I don't know. It's tough to It is. It's tough to step in those shoes. It's just tough. You're not gonna. A lot of fans are gonna mock you from the beginning. He didn't have a chance. So. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'm sorry, Nick. I didn't interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
No, seriously, it's cool. The original title of the movie was going to be Halloween 666, the origin of Michael Myers.
That's dope.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah, there's ad prints and posters that exist with that title. Later, it just became Halloween 6, and finally, it was Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers.
That's what I remember being the Curse of Michael Myers.
The origin of that fucking title was from Daniel Ferens, who suggested to call the film The Curse of Michael Myers due to the troubled production.
The troubles in the production sound like it was just a lot of people who wanted to do different things. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like it was a lot of. And maybe just being cheap, being like,
Oh no! What it sounds like is Justice League before Justice League.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. Like really, where it gets bitter. Probably. Can you imagine? There's people pulling in different directions. I mean, when you're doing something like a movie or anything, any kind of project, and you're trying to work, if everyone's pulling in different directions, it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
So. I can see where wow.
Right.
That sucks, dude. It's amazing they got a movie made, to be honest with you, at all. Let alone two versions.
So yeah, for years after the release, the only way to watch the producer's cut was on a bootleg, and it had just such poor, video and audio quality. It was unwatchable. The footage managed to survive being destroyed by being released illegally. In September 2014, Shout Factory, which just did the nice big Jason set under their Scream Factory label, released the original producer's cut on Blu-ray with a restored picture from the original negative, which is available in the Halloween Complete collection for the first time. It was finally given an individual release by Miramax on September of 2015, though without the bonus features from the collection.
Right.
As a result of Donald Pleasance's death, as well as creative differences between Joe Chappelle and the producer, Joe Chappelle's the director, in an allegedly bad test screening of the original work, the famous producer's cut, reshoots were done, as well as lots of editing, to the anger of most of the cast and crew. Many vowed never to make another Halloween movie again after all the changes.
Wow. Jeez, God, it pissed everybody off, didn't it? God damn.
Yeah.
Everything. It's just... What a nightmare. Jesus.
In early 95, after filming and editing was completed, Halloween 6 was given a test screening, which is described by actress Marion Hagen, consisted primarily of 14-year-old boys. During the Q&A afterward, one of them expressed great displeasure at the ending of the film, which entailed a Celtic ritual and the passing of the Curse of Thorn to the Dr. Loomis character. We'll get into that in a second. This led to reshoots to craft a new ending, but there was a big problem. Donald Pleasance couldn't be present because he was dead. He died in February. So not only was it a new ending shot, but over 20 minutes of other footage was changed as well, leaving gaping plot holes and rendered the film nearly incomprehensible.
Nightmare. God, it sucks, dude.
The producer cut actually contains less gore than the theatrical release. The producer and director reportedly rewrote the ending on set, even shot to shot. Freeman also sent the crew home when crucial scenes needed to be shot, deleting scripted scenes indiscriminately, rewrote dialogue and action sequences, and took it upon himself to direct second unit shots, as well as supervise in the post-production phase of the original cut, and made a series of blunders that resulted in Miramax taking control of the film and ordering more reshoots.
Good God, jeez, man. All right. On a lighter note, I got a question for you about this. Did they ever consider bringing Michael Myers into or consider using Michael Myers in one of the in a
crossover movie? Yes,
crossover movie. There you go.
Well, the ones that have been considered are, because New Line had control of both franchises at the time, was Michael Myers versus Leatherface.
Okay.
Because they had that movie with Renee Zellweger, and I think it was Matthew McConaughey in it. It was like
Matthew McConaughey. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Like early. That was early in their careers too, wasn't it? I mean,
oh yeah.
It was their first movie.
Really
Each of them, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, was it each of their first movie? No shit. Okay, I just remember it being real.
I don't know if it was McConaughey's first, but it was her first, definitely.
And that movie was fucking off the rails too.
It was also awful.
Yeah.
That would have been interesting, though. I would have liked to have seen a Michael Myers versus.
The other
might
one,
have been fun.
The other thing is that Michael Myers' rights went to Dimension. Dimension also holds the rights for Hellraiser. So what they were going to do was, this is after they heard word of what New Line wanted to do with Freddy versus Jason versus Pinhead. So what they wanted to do was, at the end of 6, they were going to have Pinhead do a Freddy Krueger and take Michael Myers down to hell.
Oh,
and
the
next movie was Michael Myers versus the Cenobites.
That's fucking crazy, dude.
That would have been
Holy
fucking nuts.
shit.
I don't know that they could have fucking handled that, but the funny thing is I was just trying to find the facts as fast as I could, and I didn't put them in any particular order. But after this fact, Peter Jackson was asked to direct this film. So if they were going to go with that crossover idea, maybe.
Yeah.
But he definitely fucking said no way.
He was like, I ain't touching that shit.
This is
That's
the first.
I don't know.
This is the first movie in the franchise, and I think probably the only movie in the franchise that Dr. Loomis and Michael share no screen time whatsoever.
God damn.
In the theatrical in the theatrical ending, which is the second ending that they had to film after Donald Pleasance was dead, what they did was they had Paul Rudd and the young lady drive off on a Jeep with the kid. Excuse me. And Dr. Loomis is like, I have to see this through. The evil must be ended once and for all. And he fucking goes, they show him going back into the, Smith Grove. And then you hear him say, they had to use audio from prior movies, and you hear him say, Michael. And then you hear him like scream Michael, like from the first one when he first saw him with Jamie Lee Curtis. And then you hear like this pop, and it goes to credits.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
They kind of threw that together there, didn't they? I don't know. That's wow.
So you were also all right, let me do two more facts, and then I want to get to something else you brought up earlier. Howard Stern was originally supposed to be the shock jock. He turned it down.
Too big for his britches.
Yeah. At one time, Scott Spiegel was going to direct, and Quentin Tarantino was going to produce. And they had a completely different script that just completely ignored 4 and 5. And what it was, Michael, it was going to be, what was that crazy ass movie? That was first point of view, like Hardcore Henry. Is that right?
I'm not sure.
I believe it was called Hardcore Henry. It's an action movie where where it's shot completely in first person.
That's Hardcore Henry.
That's what they were going to do with Michael Myers. Michael Myers was going to be homeless, and fucking they were going to go from like before Halloween, like right before Halloween, and showed like him killing people, and then like he puts his mask on, and then it's time to go to Haddonfield. So that was Quentin Tarantino's idea.
Like a prequel almost.
No, it was basically gonna be just like it was gonna be like a reboot. Like ignore everything and except for like the the obvious origin and everything, and then Mustafa God hated that idea and was like, "Fuck you, bye."
Of course.
So what you were asking earlier if Michael Myers was supernatural.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering about the super. There seems to be a supernatural element.
That's what they were trying to explain in this movie with the Cult of Thorn and the Man in Black and all that. The intentions with the script were to ultimately unveil what had kept Michael Myers alive and his reasons for killing. They decided upon using the Curse of Thorn angle, which is the concept that Michael Myers had been under the influence of an ancient curse that drove him to murder all his family members in his bloodline. And once that task was completed, the curse would be passed on to another young child, which was going to be the child in this movie. And that's something we need to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Lloyd is supposed to be Michael Myers' niece.
Right.
It is very, very heavily implied in this movie that Michael Myers is the father of Jamie Lloyd's kid. It's in the producer's cut. It's even more like it's obvious. Like they come out and say it. So there's some incest. There's some incest going on. Yeah, there is an incest. There's definitely an incest angle to this movie. I know that's a trigger for some people. So.
Probably, but he's a psychotic, murdering, killing motherfucker. Is
right?
Is incest with his niece out of the question?
No, it's not. But at the same time, if I'm talking about a movie that has a subject like this, I'm going to have to tell people, what happens in the movie so that they can be prepared.
I should just be gentle with it. Well, it's just like any original, Nightmare on Elm Street originally. Freddy Krueger was not just a child murderer, he was also, a pedophile,
child rapist.
Child rapist, exactly. He so, but they later kind of dropped that from him because they kind of didn't like.
Yeah, because he was like so charismatic, But
and they actually liked people liking the character, So
and that's the thing is like you can't like someone who like is associated with that choice,
exactly.
No matter how funny they are,
Right, it just doesn't match. It doesn't go, So that's interesting, though. That's funny. Wow. Well,
it's just like to talk to just get through this some more. An early version of Jamie's death has her stabbed with a knife and not with farm equipment. The producer's cut has extra scenes with Jamie at the hospital. The doctors removed the knife from her body, which is what they used to kill her in that version. Okay? She lies unconscious on the hospital bed. She has flashbacks of her impregnation during a ritual conducted by the Man in Black and his associates. It is strongly implied that Michael's impregnated her to pass on the curse. As Jamie is dreaming, the Man in Black walks inside the room, remarks that her work is done, and shoots her to death.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that takes. I'll be honest with you, Nick. That shit takes it to a whole other dark fucking level. Like Michael Myers, we like the slashing, the killing, the murdering. Then you're taking it to another whole fucking level. dark satanic shit.
Like,
Mhm.
in
It's
like the thing,
amazing.
the thing was by this time Jason was a zombie.
Right.
So
right,
that's how they explain Jason coming back to life from all time. And to be honest, Michael survived shit that would put Jason down for the count. Like that scene in part I believe 4 where they shoot him through the grave.
Yeah.
Jason ain't surviving that shit.
Well, I don't know. Jason took being torn apart, being cut up into pieces.
Well, that was in Jason X, dude, and that was nanotechnology. Come on, dude.
Yeah, it's not like he did that shit.
I mean, what
on
about
his
what
own.
Tommy? What about what Tommy did to him?
He was brought back to life through psychic powers. Then, see, like they always had like some explanation, but with Michael, it was just Mike fucking survives.
Well, yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's why I asked you. That's why I asked about the supernatural element because
And
I was like, he was surviving shit that just doesn't seem survivable.
And that's what they tried to do and explain in this one.
Okay.
So that's the end of this part. The next part we'll go through 7, which is H2O, Resurrection. Yeah. We'll do the Rob Zombies and the 2018 one.
It's fucking amazing how many fucking Halloween movies there are. Like I think about how many Friday the 13th movies there are, and I'm like, but motherfuckers forget how many Halloween movies there are.
The funny thing is there's 11 Friday the 13th movies.
Mm-hmm.
I think when Halloween Kills comes out, there will be 11 Halloween. Yeah. No, there will be 12 Halloween.
I thought it would be 11.
No, because
because we got to count 3.
Right, there's 11 now and 3. So the funny thing is, there's 11 movies in each franchise. Okay, both slashers show up in 10 out of the 11. Jason wasn't the killer in part 1. It was his mother.
It was his mom.
And then part 3, Mike only had a cameo in.
Mom.
Okay, so wait a minute. Michael Myers actually does have a cameo in the witchy movie.
Yeah.
The witchy one, whatever the.
Yeah.
What's it called? Night of the Witch.
Season of the Witch. Yeah.
Season of the Witch. Okay. Okay. Season of the Witch. So.
Stand of the Witch.
Yeah.
Stand of the
Witch.
Something to sand of the witch is something or something.
How many Nightmare on Elm
Dick
Street
Witch or
movies
Dick
War?
There's. Do you count Freddy
6,
versus Jason as one?
7. Wes Craven's New Nightmare, if you count that, I guess that's kind of off.
What I'm saying is, do you count Freddy versus Jason or not?
Well, yeah, I would count that both as
okay. So there's
Friday the 13th and 8.
Yeah, so then there's 7 original Nightmares. There's Freddy versus Jason and the remake.
Right. And the remake, and then what about the Wes Craven New Nightmare? Do you count that?
That's 7. Yeah, that's 7.
Because, no, that was the 7.
Yeah, because the 6th one was Freddy's Dead, and
that's
then there's
the
New Nightmare. And when we do Freddy's Dead, that's gonna be fun. Talking about the cameos.
Yeah, I just forgot how many fucking there were of them. Yeah, you're right. That's interesting. God damn.
Roseanne and Tom Arnold.
Oh yeah, that's there. And when they go to Springwood, they're like, look, there's children. Oh my god, creepy as fuck, dude. Oh my god, don't go. We want to just hold you and hug you and.
Can't believe the children.
Oh god, yeah, that was fucking nuts, man.
Oh, okay, God. E says part 5. Jason wasn't. Jason also is a copycat. Jason appears in a cameo.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but Jason does make an appearance in the movie, though, right? The real Jason does, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So okay, so he's in the movie.
he makes one appearance, but the main killer in part 5 is Roy Burns.
Is Roy Burns, right? Yeah, that's right. It was I remember that. It was the copycat, the fake.
All right. JB asked the most badass horror movie villain of all time. Ralph Macchio, he says.
That's so funny, dude. We got into the whole discussion about him being the who was the real villain in Karate Kid, you know?
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio was. Johnny
I always
Lawrence
try to
was the flawed and sometimes wrong hero.
I always try to defend Daniel LaRusso but if you really look at it, Daniel did do some dick shit. You know, he did.
All right. So like
everything after that first encounter on the beach, Daniel incited.
Yep. The shower, everything.
That's a good point.
Johnny was upset because Allie broke up with him. He shouldn't have fucking, trashed her radio. That was a dick move. But everything else after that, Daniel incited it.
Yeah, my argument was Daniel stuck his nose where it didn't belong, though. In that scene too. Like I don't care who you just met that girl. Take it easy, you know.
Brink said Hot Rod surpasses LaRusso by far. So I think, I mean, we're already past 11, so I mean, we can go for a little bit more and then do it on broadcast. But I think that's a cool question to answer. Who is your favorite horror movie antagonist?
Myers.
Yeah. Mine's Freddy Krueger.
Freddy
for me. Yeah.
Freddy's a punk bitch.
Well, yeah, I know he is, but that's what I like about him. Like, I like that he bullshits. I like that he fucks with people. He could kill them easily, but he fucks with them, and that's cool. I like that. You know, and all the shit talking Freddy does. It's great. Come on, he's got the best lines.
Oh yeah.
What happened on the soccer field? That is a contact sport.
Yeah.
You know. He was trying to showboat hot shot, and they were just like, you know what? You're not as good as you think you are, and they put him in his place.
Yeah, but I would say that wasn't okay. But hold on, that wasn't Johnny though. Wasn't that Johnny's friend that did that? That was one of the other boys that fucked with Daniel in that, right?
I don't remember.
Was that like Tommy?
I think it was Tommy.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think
I gotta go
Johnny,
rewatch The Karate Kid now.
Yeah, I don't think that was Johnny. I think it was one of Johnny's boys that did that. So Johnny can't control his voice. That's fine.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch him before season 3 comes out of Cobra Kai. Sam,
there's no audio of Johnny saying "get him."
Yeah,
that's right.
So that's speculation, sir.
So Sam, what was yours, man?
Leatherface.
Leatherface.
Mm-hmm.
Leatherface is
that was my favorite since I was a young buck.
You guys know I'm a hipster. You know, I'm a hipster.
Yeah.
I always has to fucking go, against the flow. So mine is Cropsy from The Burning. And it's a movie that I keep pimping out to people. It's a slasher flick where Tom Savini does the effects. It's similar to Friday the 13th, but it's way gorier. It's also Jason Alexander's first movie.
Yeah, I've seen. So Nick, I feel like if you had like the Mount Rushmore of like horror people, it would be like Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, Jason, and then like what would the fourth one be to you?
Mine would be completely different.
Maybe I don't know. It could be Pinhead.
Yeah. See, if I have to do,
those are the three that come to mind.
For me, if I do a Mount Rushmore of horror, I have to go back to the old stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it'd be like fucking Dracula, the Wolfman, like.
So like mine would have. Okay, so I figure Frankenstein and Dracula are probably the two most popular, right? So I gotta pick.
Yeah,
I gotta pick
the classics. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got to pick a Dracula, and I've got to pick a Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, gotta go Christopher. So I guess like they did the order, like it was a Washington, Lincoln, Roosevelt, then the other Roosevelt, right? So
it was Washington, Lincoln. I think it's Jefferson and then Roosevelt.
Okay.
And it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Yeah. So, got to go Bela Lugosi is Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, sorry. Christopher Lee is Dracula.
Wait, you like Christopher Lee better than Bela Lugosi?
Well, you have to have one or the other. And so my
Okay. So you gotta go
my
Christopher.
Frankenstein is Karloff.
Okay.
Okay.
Karloff was great. Yeah. Yeah.
Then I gotta go Reagan from The Exorcist.
I think I meant Ronald Reagan from.
Ronnie Reagan.
He was pretty fucking horrible too.
Yeah.
Gotta go Reagan from The Exorcist, and then I guess Mike.
I like it, man.
You know, I can't
love-
argue with that because it's like your, it's like your, it's your opinion, and
Yeah,
you like the
there-
best and stuff.
And there's too much because when I like asked that question, I was only thinking of like slashers.
Oh, if
stuff.
you're only thinking
That would be-
slashers, you got to go Mike, Jason, Freddy, and Pinhead.
Yeah, and like I wasn't even thinking about like the classic like foundational horror stuff, which is like I probably I gravitate more to that, and then like anything like demon possession, like I'm like all about it, you know.
Nah, see,
I love that.
that's where I don't fuck with the demon possession movies. I don't fuck with that shit. I don't
Well,
watch
yeah,
them.
when
See,
JB asked that in the chat, I was like, I said Leatherface too, but then it was like my first answer to him was like, Satan, you know, because that's like any like demon possession movie. I just like, oh, he's the real bad guy, you know.
Yeah, Anna loves those fucking movies, and I'm like, yeah, I can't watch that shit. Sorry. Like I can watch people. I can watch like I can watch a movie where somebody gets gutted, but I can't watch demon possession.
JB said Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy, and Russ. Jeremy, you're calling him by the wrong name. His name is Ross.
He's Ross.
Ross
the
Ross
twat
the Moss.
waffle.
I told you. Chance again.
Russ the Moist.
You
Ross
do
the
realize that
Moist.
twat waffle is not a compliment, right?
That's okay. You got to take it. I take it how I want to take it.
Up the ass.
No.
Oh,
If you're, if I'm in the mood, we'll see.
There you go, man.
On the night, baby.
Tell him, Ross, there ain't no shame in your game.
Dude, Nick,
right,
you were
baby.
saying that, or Russ, you talking about like demon movies. Like, there's like this meme where it's like it's Homer Simpson in both of the pictures, and one of them he's just like laying up at night, like looking afraid, and the other one he's like sleeping peacefully, and the one where he's like looking all afraid, it's like me after watching like a movie about possessions or whatever, and then like the one where he's like sleeping peacefully is like me after watching like 5 hours of true crime like documentaries.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's the truth, man.
Oh man.
Like I can watch horrific shit on like this demon like
shit, you know,
the whole in possession and stuff. Maybe it's just the one thing that creeps me out. I don't know. It gets to me. I can't. You know. I told Anna I think it's because in my heart of hearts I kind of believe in that shit a little bit. So it's too real for me. That's
the same thing.
No
it's like because I said that to Jackie all the time. Like everything I believe, tells me like this isn't real. But then it's like for some reason I'm like, man, like this could happen to me, But I feel in these last like 5 years or so, like I feel like horror movies, we've got a lot of good ones, man. And I do hear people say a lot. And it's like kind of the same. Maybe it's the same type of person that says like, oh, there's no good horror movies anymore. But then they're also saying there's no good any movies anymore. But I feel like
it depends on the type.
Well, personally,
yeah.
For me, if you can watch it and say that both those weren't excellent horror movies, I can't trust your opinion. I can't trust.
Yeah, and I mean, you have that, and then you have like the stuff that A24's put out in the last
Jordan
few years.
Peele?
I don't know.
Talking about the production company that did Hereditary.
Yeah.
And
okay.
It's like Hereditary, Midsummer, in The Witch. Like The Witch is like in my top 10 favorite movies. Like not even just horror movies, but just like movies of all. It's so good, So I do. It bums me out because I'm like, there's really good shit out there, and I don't think there was a time that wasn't happening. Maybe and I could probably be more well informed about it, but
horror's always had the underground kind of, reputation, whereas, parents don't want you to watch it,
Yeah.
girls get scared, there's a lot of sex, there's a lot of violence, and we know America hates that, so.
They just say they do, but they actually
They
love it.
say they fucking do.
Yeah.
But, it's just, it is the perfect thing for parents to come out against. But the thing is with it being underground like that, it serves so much of its audience by being so diverse and by, having every type of horror that you could ever want.
Yeah, and it appeals to everyone because I do think that people just generally like to be scared.
Yeah.
Like to be fucked with, in that way. And even before, like, the few that I mentioned, like, you had, like, the Conjuring movies, I think are fantastic. And it's like, I watched Sinister the other day. That was good. And it's like, those are movies that, like, when I watch, like, a horror movie, sometimes I do kind of dumb down my expectations a little bit, like, given the genre. But, like, there's a lot of these movies that are coming out that, like, just kind of stand on their own as just being really good movies.
In horror,
that happen to be horror movies.
And horror movies have always actually, shown reality in mirror. Because the things that are in horror movies,
like, it's social commentary.
It's social commentary, just like most of it.
Right.
I think it's the kind of, I think it's just, to me, with horror movies, I've always considered it an art inside of the art. Like you got the artistry of making movies, and I think horror is like an art, like an art form inside of the art form. It's just a whole other fucking way to go, man. And I love all the makeup work. I'm a big fan of practical effects, makeup and stuff.
Yeah,
CGI has its place, but it's problem with CGI is it's CGI, and it's like practical effects. The idea is that they can look real, Now, I granted there is some good CGI nowadays that they've done that is pretty amazing. I give it credit, but it's nothing like if you watch American Werewolf in London, that's some of the greatest practical effects. That shit holds up today.
Yeah,
you look at that. You watch that werewolf transformation.
That transformation.
Oh, it's one of the greatest scenes in horror movie history because
it's one of the best scenes in cinema.
Oh, I would agree with that. I agree. Hell yeah. Good. You're right. But a lot of people don't want to give horror that because of the genre. I don't want to give it that kind of credit. But I would agree with you, Nick. It is one of the better scenes in cinema, period. It's amazing, the work they did on it.
Now, Maya,
and that's practical effect, which is really
Maya, we rolled over you. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, if you don't care, guys, I got to dip.
Yeah, I was about to end the show right now anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed the first part of our Halloween retrospective. I don't know if I'm going to do it.
It was fun.
Don't know if I'm going to do the next part next week or maybe a week after that. We'll figure it out. But it's been another Friday. It's been another Masterpiece Peace Theater.
Everybody out there have a safe and fun Halloween tomorrow if possible.
Yeah. Don't forget to set your fucking clocks back too, guys.
Yeah.
I just found that shit today. I'm like,
to 1923. Never mind. Sorry.
It's gonna get dark at 2:15 now.
I know.
Insane.
All right, guys. Like I tell y'all every week.
Thanks for bullshitting with us, guys. That's what I mean.
Thanks for watching our bullshit. Peace, love, and hair grease.